Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Rachel Moger and I have some more great healthy cooking tips for you today, and you've probably recognized something's completely different already. I got a new chef shirt. So yes, my lovely husband has made me super official, and although I feel very official in this shirt today, I need to tell you, you still don't need a chef shirt for this because this is so simple. You've got some basic ingredients. You just want to make sure you get good quality stuff. We're going to throw together a few simple things and make a real nice salad dressing today. So let's get started and see what we have for ingredients. Most salad dressings just have the two main ingredients, like I said. You've got your choice of vinegar and you have your choice of oil. Now, generally, I'll end up using a white wine vinegar or maybe an apple cider. Today, we're going to use balsamic vinegar because I'm making a creamy balsamic vinaigrette, but balsamic vinegar has a little higher content in sugar. So for those of you that are staying away from sugar, you're going to want to stick over with the white wine or apple cider and maybe just add in a couple tablespoons of balsamic. Or just use one or the other. This is real easy. Your choice of oil, I usually love to use olive oil because I like the flavor. If I'm using if I want a creaminess, I'm going to use Vegenaise. And I choose to use Vegenaise over mayonnaise because Vegenaise, well, first of all, I choose the grapeseed oil Vegenaise, the cold pressed grapeseed oil. And it's so much better for you because basically grapeseed oil is one of the few natural foods known to actually raise HDL levels. So that HDL level, is that good cholesterol. So I try to use Vegenaise. I substitute that all the time for mayonnaise. So we're going to use some fresh herbs in this particular recipe for amazing salad dressing. So what I have here is thyme. I just picked this morning. Thyme is really good. It's a great digestive aid. It even helps with menstrual cramps. It's a good cold remedy. In fact, Germany, I think they use this today to treat whooping cough. So really good to get some of that into your body, of course. And we have some fresh rosemary. Rosemary is one of my favorites. It just smells so amazing. And did you know that in ancient times, people used to wrap their meats with rosemary? It's actually a great preservative, so it used to prevent spoilage for them. So not only is it a natural preservative, but it's also got a great digestive aid. It's good decongestant and it kills bacteria. I mean, another amazing herb to have on hand. I realize some of you might not have those fresh herbs on hand or even want to buy a whole bunch of them. So you can use some dried herbs. What I recommend is you just make sure you get a really fresh, good, wholesome ingredient new Italian blend. So of course I use my own Italian seasonings. I prefer to use my own brands because I know exactly how long they've been on the shelf. I know they're all true organic ingredients. You don't have to use mine for this recipe. I just recommend you look at your labels, make sure you're getting something that's good quality. Now for my blend, I use oregano, basil, thyme, savory, marjoram, parsley, rosemary, sage. There's all kinds of great things in there. There's so many different blends out there and all of them have a different amount of each of those ingredients. I liked all of them, so I put them all in mine. Some of them just have more basil, more oregano. You choose what your flavor likes and what's best for you. So again, you can use some dried herbs for this recipe. And some of the other ingredients we're going to use today, basically garlic. You guys know I love to put garlic in just about everything. Fresh garlic is amazing. It reduces blood pressure. It can help with diabetes sufferers. It can help eliminate lead. I mean, you gotta have fresh garlic on hand. We're also gonna use some raw honey, and you guys know raw honey is a great digestive aid. So many benefits for using raw honey. And we're just gonna use a little of that to sweeten it up today. And of course, we have some sea salt and some black peppercorn. So let's get started on making this recipe. We're gonna start with our thyme, and if you've got the fresh thyme, you're basically just zipping off these leaves just like that. And if you get a couple of the stems in there, no big deal because we're going to chop it up. So we're going to use about a teaspoon of thyme and a teaspoon of rosemary. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the rosemary. With the rosemary, you just kind of pluck off those leaves. And like so, you get that nice aromatic event happening right now. It smells so amazing. So you can, if you don't have a garlic press, it's really easy to peel your garlic just by bruising it like that. But some of those cool new garlic presses allow you just to go ahead and throw them in with the outer part on and just push it through. So I usually use 1 to 2 cloves of garlic. Just like that. Now we're going to chop up our thyme. Just don't want any big chunks in there. And again, if you have that, some of the stem, especially on the young thyme, it's all right. Don't worry about it. It's just gonna, no one will know. You can eat it. It's still healthy for you and just easier to not have to be so picky about it. Okay, great. You just want to chop it up nice and thin. There we go. Now we're on to the rosemary. And for the rosemary, we're gonna do the same thing. Chop it up Rosemary is kind of a little bit more coarse, so you definitely, you know, you wouldn't want to have a big piece of this in your salad dressing. Where it works nice, all, you know, in its natural form, I love to do that, you know, with fresh vegetables or nice roast. But for my salad dressing, I chop it up pretty thin. And we already have our garlic already all chopped up. Now we're ready to add all of this together. Okay, we're gonna start with our oil. And again, since this one's gonna be kind of like a creamier dressing, I'm gonna use the Vegenaise. So I have a half a cup of my oil choice Vegenaise. Then I'm gonna add in my vinegar, and we're gonna do about a half a cup of balsamic vinegar. All right, okay, and then we're gonna add in the rest of our ingredients. We have our fresh herbs. And again, you can use that Italian seasoning if you're not chopping up fresh herbs. If you want to look for mine, you can look up rachelmoger.com. And we also have some fresh garlic. And that goes in there. And then we're just going to stir that all together. I like using a little whisk, kind of whisk it together. Especially with the creaminess, you want to blend it in well, just like so. See how it's kind of a little bit thicker than what you would normally have with a salad dressing if you just used olive oil. Just kind of a little thicker, a little creamier. There we go. And then lastly, if you want to add in some sweetness, we can use a teaspoon to a tablespoon of honey. Like I said, the vinegar is already pretty sweet, the balsamic, but if you're used to buying your salad dressings in the grocery store, you're gonna want that extra sweetness. A lot of them have corn syrup, you know, high fructose corn syrup. So we're gonna add in a little sweetness to make it what you might be more familiar with. So a little bit of honey. I'm gonna use just about a, you know, heaping teaspoon in there. And then, of course, a little sea salt and pepper. Salt in there, some fresh crushed black pepper. And then we're gonna, again, give that another little whisk or stir, just like so. Just mix it all up good. And our salad dressing is ready to be served. Now, I recommend you go ahead and let it set for a couple hours if you can before you serve it, because all those flavors are going to meld together and it's just going to be even more amazing. And you can, of course, you have your choice of containers. You can put it in something fancy. Maybe you have like a little, this is a Pampered Chef dealie, a little salad dressing mixer. This one is one that we just used the other night, so I just pulled this out of my refrigerator. And you know, another good tip on these is if your salad dressing gets a little firm, if you've had it in the refrigerator, just stick it under a little hot water for a little while, and that oil will go ahead and melt again. So those are your choices. You know, I like to keep it simple. Sometimes when you use things like this, they can separate. So what I do is I like to use just some, you know, funky little cool glass container. And what I'll do is I'll just pour it in and I'll leave it, especially if I'm doing this for guests, I'll just leave it out on the table next to the salad with a spoon or a ladle. And that way, you know, if it separates, you can stir it up again. You get all the goodness in there, and you're not forced to just pour off the top. So I am just super excited that I got to share this recipe with you. I hope you enjoy it over on many different varieties of greens, and I can't wait to share with you another recipe on my next cooking tip, and I just hope that you're very blessed until I see you again. Have a great day.